Hi, I'm Michael. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to kick things off by talking about the way that I resolve conflicts. My innate nature is that I kind of want to bully my way into things. Like I want to just brute force attack the other side and make them see my way, you know? Here's the problem with that though. It's kind of like, when you're trying to pull on a stubborn horse or something like that. By the way, I know nothing about horses. You're trying to pull them, and the harder you pull, the more that animal is pulling back and resisting you. That's not the way to do it. You want the animal to want to go where you want to go, and you can't force somebody to change their mind about anything at all. And even if you somehow had a mind control ray or whatever, or you used torture, or you used coercion, or you bribed them, or you scared them, whatever method you use to change their mind, I guarantee you haven't changed their mind, and it doesn't count. Because the second that they're able to think for themselves or to do what they really want to do, they're going to do it. You can't force that kind of change ever. No matter how good you are at arguing things, if you completely take apart the other person's side and prove them wrong at every step, you might win a debate, but did you actually change their mind about something? And that is one of the key things that I've noticed, is that we live in a very polarized society right now. We have people of different political, socioeconomic, even cultural inclinations all kind of going at each other's necks. And each side seems to think that the other side is crazy, but you can't really change that by being crazy back. Let's say that you think that immigration is a horrible thing and that it's ruining our country. And then let's say that I say that immigration is not a bad thing and that our nation was founded on immigrants and that we're all related and descended from immigrants. Even if you come at me and you're just trying to cut my head off. Oh, you stupid snowflake, this or that. And by the way, I'm not going to get political here, but I'm just using this as an example. Let's say that you come at me and you're angry and you think that I'm just another one of these people that, whatever label you want to slap on me, right? You have ideas about people that disagree with you or people that are the other side or the enemy. If you're a conservative, you're probably going to say, oh, this liberal person. And if you're a liberal, you might say, oh, that conservative douchebag. It doesn't matter what the label is. The fact is that you want to put a label on the people that disagree with you. And then you label them, oh, well, you're just a stupid, insert term here. I can dismiss your opinion utterly. And if it comes down to butting heads about that, and trying to force that person to agree with me, it's not going to happen. It'll never, ever happen. So here's what you got to do. And this is the hardest thing in the world for a person to do. You got to listen to them. You got to listen to everything they say, whether you agree with it or not. And you don't just nod your head. You have to actually put yourself in their shoes and try to see the world the way that they're describing it. Try to put yourself in their position and see things their way. And you don't want to do that. If somebody has a complete opposite ideology to you, you don't want to see things from their perspective. You don't want to think like the enemy or whatever, but you have to. And here's the thing. You have to listen to them and you have to let them know that you're listening. You have to engage them. Don't try to force your opinion on them. Step back, hands off. You're not going to force anything. You just want to talk. You want to start a dialogue. And once you get in a position where they feel like you're not attacking them because you're being friendly, you're not rushing to judgments, you're not judging them for the things that they say. That's also an important thing. Finally, once you get all of that out of the way and you have a safe place where you can exchange ideas, it's only at that point that you have even the tiniest little chance of actually changing somebody's mind. And I'm going to be honest, even at that point, you're probably not going to change their mind. Even if you do change their mind, you're probably not going to change their mind the first time you talk to them or the first time you share an opinion. It is rare, but when it happens, when you actually do change somebody's mind, when you do listen to what they're saying, and maybe they're going to change your mind on a few things as well. But once you approach them as a friend instead of as an adversary, once you listen to the things that they're saying and the problems that they see, and you don't even necessarily have to argue about those problems or say, oh, well, you're wrong here or you're wrong there. What you're trying to do is trying to let them know that they're being heard, and you're trying to listen to them, and you are trying to discuss. You're exchanging ideas. It's not a battle. And that's the thing, is we have kind of lost our ability to see discussions as anything other than a battle of ideologies, a battle of wits, a battle of who can argue the best. And you might win an argument, but you're not going to change a mind. So from a logical perspective, you have to ask yourself, what is your goal of talking to people and having discussions or arguing with them? What is your goal? Is your goal to win an argument, or is your goal to change somebody's mind, or is your goal something else? And whatever that goal is, you then have to ask, okay, if I do this, is that helping my goal or hurting it? My goal is to change somebody's mind and I attack them and they get defensive and they just dismiss everything I say because they think I'm just insert label here. I haven't reached my goal. In fact, I've sabotaged it. I've made it harder to reach somebody and to change their mind about something. And again, it is our instinct is to attack. When you get online and you're in a YouTube comment or you're in a Reddit thread and somebody says something critical of you, you're not going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say, oh, well, this person has a different opinion than mine, but I'm okay with that. No, you are so used to people lashing out and just being the cruelest, meanest, pettiest version of themselves when they're online, that the second you see the least bit of negativity in a comment or, an online post or something like that, you are fully prepared for them to unleash the hounds of hell in your direction. And so you are immediately defensive and you're immediately like going on the attack yourself. And we can't talk to each other like that. And we really do need to talk to each other. I have never seen the country as divided as it is right now. And it's scary. It really is. And what I'm really seeing, and the thing that scares me the most, is that we're not talking to each other. We're talking at each other. We're arguing and bickering. And here's something else about that. When you get into a situation where you're fighting with somebody, you're verbally jousting with them, very quickly the conversation goes from whatever the topic was at hand, like immigration or whatever, and it goes to a completely different direction where you say, oh yeah, well, your party did this, and oh yeah, well, your party did that. And before long, you're not even arguing about the thing you were arguing about. And that very quickly just derails the conversation. And I challenge you to have a political discussion with anybody without them bringing up the opposition's president or the opposition's governor and the stupid things that they've done, things that have nothing to do with whatever it is that you're talking about. But again, I don't want this to be a political discussion. We're not talking politics. We're talking the way that we communicate with each other. And it becomes very difficult for us to resolve these conflicts. The difference between left and right wing, between liberal and conservative, they're getting wider. Like the common ground is shrinking. You're getting people being pushed to the extremes. You're getting people over here who are becoming even more left and people over here who are becoming even more right. And it's not sustainable. Like worst case scenario, you have half the country say the other half is batshit crazy and we want a civil war. This is how civil wars happen. You have half the people say we want to live this way, and the other half say no, we want to live this way. They're not going to agree to disagree. This is how civil war happens. I'm not saying that the United States is going to enter a civil war or that is a serious danger at this point, but this is the path that leads to that. So anyway, so coming back around to the topic of the discussion, how I argue with people is that I try not to argue. I try to listen. I want them to see me as a friend. I want to be a real friend. This isn't an act that I'm doing when I'm talking to people. This isn't some trick that I'm doing to swing them over. I'm not trying to sugar the pot. I am trying to talk to another person and have my ideas reach them, and I want their ideas to reach me, and I want that cross-pollination, because that's how new ideas are formed. Second thing about me is I am totally cool with people who 100% disagree with me, people who don't share the same values, people who are polar opposites to me in every way. Some of my best friends and I will never, ever see eye to eye on anything political or financial or anything like that. They're still very close friends. I value their opinions. And here's the thing about that. There's a danger in echo chambers. Let's say that, I don't know, I think ancient aliens are a thing, and that, I don't know, the pyramids were built by people from Alpha Centauri or something like that. If I surround myself with people that 100% agree with me, how will we ever know we're wrong? Like, if one of us is wrong, and we all think and feel and do things the same way, if one of us is wrong, then all of us are wrong. And if all of us are wrong, how will we ever realize that we're wrong? You know? Whereas if you surround yourself with a diversity of opinions and people who don't necessarily all see eye to eye, when one of us gets it wrong, the other ones are going to call them on it. And again, it goes back to, what is your goal? Is your goal to feel like there were ancient aliens, regardless of whether that actually happened or not? And you got to be honest with yourself. Some of the things that we feel, they kind of override our reason. Like, we want something to be true so bad that we will ignore everything that proves it's not true. But if our goal is truth, then we have to take a hard look at it and see if it holds up to scrutiny. And one of the best ways of seeing if something holds up to scrutiny is to have somebody rip it apart and just throw it in your face on fire. And if your ideas and your opinions can survive that, and they're watertight, so to speak, then there might be a chance that your opinion actually has some weight to it, and it might be something worth holding on to. On the other hand, if your opinion falls apart, if nothing you say can be proven or is sustainable, and people just poke all kinds of little holes in what you're saying, and it just doesn't hold water, maybe you should change your mind on it. Yeah, so echo chambers, kind of a bad thing if your goal is to arrive at the truth of something. Third thing is, I think collaboration is awesome. This idea that we have in society of like the lone scientist, the lone voice of dissent, you know, the lone genius who drags us into the 21st century. It's romantic. It works well in movies and literature, but it's not real. Like, Albert Einstein was a great man, great thinker, but even he didn't build his science in a vacuum. He stood on the shoulders of giants. We all do. We all collectively pull from the wealth of knowledge that is humanity. And sometimes, if we're lucky, we're able to give back to it. Some people give back a lot more. But the iPhone, building bridges, the Hoover Dam, none of these things were done by one person. They were done by teams of people, because you want as many experts as possible. And no matter how smart I am, no matter how well I can argue, no matter how much money I can throw at a problem, I'm never going to be more effective than an entire team of average, they don't even have to be smart, just average people that share a single vision and a single goal and are willing to work together. You just can't. One loner, no matter how well equipped they are, is not going to be able to do more than an entire community. So if you want to affect change in the world, you need to leverage the power of communities. You need to reach people. You need to collaborate. You don't want to be a lone person. You want to be part of a collective and part of a group of people. And the best part is if those people don't all agree with you. Because again, if your goal is truth, best way to arrive at truth is to not be in an echo chamber. So I'm going to cut this video off now. I just wanted to give a short introduction to the channel. And that's all I got for you guys. Welcome to my channel. Please comment, like, subscribe. I really want you guys to share your opinions and your thoughts with me. I want to know that I'm not the only one that thinks these things, but more than that, I want to know that I've connected with somebody. If I can reach one person out there, one of you, if something I say resonates with you, I need to know that. I need to know that. That is why I'm doing this channel. Thank you.